Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 40 plus days away from its official release by Disney and Lucasfilm, as well as director J.J. Abrams and creator George Lucas. That is all set and ready to end the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy itself. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is, of course, going to be a film with many different twists and turns that will lead to saga-wide implications in this story by, of course, JJ, that's going to make us view the past 8 Star Wars films in a different light, which, honestly, in my opinion, I think that's a very big risk by Disney and Lucasfilm. If you really think about it, it really is a big decision by Disney and Lucasfilm to change aspects of the past, but we'll have to wait and see exactly how it's going to be executed on the big screen by JJ, and how it all really comes together. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that, of course, shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that both Rey and Palpatine are said to be inside of his throne room. After, of course, Sidious force-pushed Kylo Ren down a bottomless pit, both Rey and Palpatine are now left alone. Rey is described to be crying after what Palpatine did to Ben Solo, believing that Ben is now dead, where she is said to be left with Sidious, where he begins to give her a lecture about the dark side of the Force. It's explained that one of the scenes is said to involve Palpatine offering Rey a vision of a potential future version of herself, ruling the galaxy with Palpatine as a grandfather and granddaughter ruling the galaxy, where she is said to be in the form of a dark Rey figure, wielding a double-bladed red lightsaber. As this happens, it's explained that Rey begins to get overwhelmed and refuses to join Palpatine and the dark side of the Force. Palpatine believed that the familial bond between both, of course, Rey and himself would actually force Rey to join him, however Sidious was wrong, and that this is described to cause Palpatine into believing that he now has no use for Rey and begins to fight her by use of Sith lightning that is colored red, where Rey is described to block the attacks with the Skywalker sabers consisting of Anakin and Leia's lightsaber blades. As this happens, it's explained that Palpatine delivers the iconic line of unlimited power in a different way than how he said it in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, where eventually the Force ghosts of the past are described to give Rey a boost of energy to take on Sidious, where she is able to push herself forward more, closer to Sidious, where she now has an equal stance against Palpatine. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and as to why the ending of Episode 9, this big duel between both Palpatine, Rey, and Ben Solo, I believe, is going to be divisive. It's going to split the fan base at certain points in time. Now, especially at the fact that Ben Solo dies in the scene by simply getting thrown over the edge of a cliff into a bottomless pit by Palpatine, and that's how he dies. Not quite sure how I really feel about that. So far, Ben Solo's death, Kylo's death, whatever have you, is still somewhat mysterious, the fate of him, right? We're still not quite sure exactly what's happening with that moment where he gets thrown down a bottomless pit, you know, whether or not he comes back alive or comes back as a Force ghost or something crazy like that. We're not quite sure. But one thing is for certain is that Rey fights Palpatine alone at a certain point in time in Episode 9. And that's the thing about this movie, is that this film is really going to deliver an experience that is going to really parallel the moment between both Luke and Palpatine, you know, that we saw in the events of Return of the Jedi, where in this scenario, basically Palpatine offers Rey a vision of a darker version of herself, the Dark Rey version, if you will, ruling the galaxy with her grandfather of course, the new Sith Empire. Now, the new Sith Empire, in case you guys did not know, consists of the old Star Destroyers that we all know and love and grew up with the original trilogy, and that a lot of fans pretty much are very familiar with, except they are all equipped with Death Star 3 technology, which allows them to act as super weapons, and Palpatine is said to have over 500 of those Star Destroyers that are going to scatter across the entire galaxy. That is Palpatine's endgame, is that around, you know, every single Star Destroyer going to each different star system to destroy those worlds and to take over those specific worlds for Palpatine to rule the galaxy indefinitely. Now, what I like about this too is that this is also said to be a moment in which Palpatine uses Sith lightning. Now, we've never seen red Force lightning before in a Star Wars film, other than, of course, the Clone Wars TV series, which, by the way, is animated. You know, the character called the Sun, which was the full embodiment of the dark side of the Force, he was actually able to use red Force lightning, and now Palpatine, since he has the power of the Beyond, is going to be able to use that power and harness it in a way that allows him to use the red Sith lightning against Rey at the very end of Episode 9, where the Force Ghosts eventually give Rey a boost of energy by use of the netherworld of the Force. So at least Force Ghosts are going to have somewhat of a role in the fight between both Rey and Palpatine, and that's really good news in my point of view and a step in the right direction. So anyways guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No, I'm not the one from night to moon.